In this video, we will be identifying the response variables, the treatment, the experimental units, and determining if randomization and replication was used properly in this study. So first, we'll start off by identifying the response variable, and in this, it's the draft. So as the two hitches pull through the land, the draft is what we will be measuring to see what these hitches did to the land, and that's the variable we're going to be looking at to see if these two hitches are different from each other. Now, the two treatments that we're going to apply to determine our study here are the two hitches. So we're going to apply the two hitches to two different plots of land to see which one's better. So now the experimental unit are the plots. They're the ones that are going to be kind of experimented on with the hitches. So moving on to part B, so now that we've identified our three sections here, we can move on to part B, and this asks, given the goal of the study, determine whether the newly developed hitch reduces the draft compared to the standard hitch. So that's the goal. Was randomization used properly in the study? So yes, it was used correctly because the two hitches were randomly assigned to the two plots. So you couldn't, manipulate which plot, had, looser soil or whatever you had. So yes, randomization was used properly. So the hitches were assigned to random plots. But in part C, it asked, given the same goal, was replication used properly? And no, it was not, because one hitch was only applied to one plot. It's not like you took this hitch and you applied it to 25 different plots. So there was no replication in this study. It was one hitch and one plot. There wasn't any replication at all in the study. So that is a no. And for part D, it asked, the plot of land is a co-founding variable in this experiment. Explain why. So, although they were going to take 25 measurements in each plot, random 25 measurements in different places, even if we did this, if the draft was different, we wouldn't be able to know whether the difference is due to the hitch or the plot. So that makes the plot the co-founding variable statistically. Just because if there's a difference in the draft, which is our response variable, we don't know if that's due to the hitch or the plot. So that's kind of our co-founding variable, which says in part D, so that's kind of the explanation why. And now we can identify response variables, we can identify treatments and experimental units, and we can see how randomization can be used in studies and how replication can be used and not used in studies, as well as learning about co-founding variables.